Part 2. Methodology and Techniques of Kriya Yoga. Lahiri Mahashaya's Kriya Yoga, First Part. Introduction. The techniques of Kriya Yoga are explained in Part 2 and Part 3 of this book. Here you have an overall vision of the 7 chapters involved. The first thing that stands out is the distinction between Lahiri Mahashaya's Kriya and Swami Hariharananda's Kriya. Chapters 6, 7, 8, 9, Lahiri Mahashaya's Kriya Yoga. This is a Kriya that I have always sought. It's a Kriya that in my opinion originates from Tantric Hatha Yoga and from particular discoveries made by Lahiri Mahashaya himself. Suri mystics with their Rika make a huge contribution. This Kriya is a set of very effective methods, if you want a practical guide to metabolize them. In Chapter 6, the basic technique of Kriya Pranayam is introduced. In Chapter 7, you find the description of all the techniques which are traditionally part of first Kriya. In Chapter 8, we introduce the second, third and fourth Kriyas. This is altogether the art of Thokar. In Chapter 9, we introduce the fifth and the sixth Kriyas. This is altogether the art of Tribhangamurari movement. Chapter 10. Swami Hariharananda's Kriya Yoga. This Kriya is influenced by the Radhaswami movement. Entering the Omkar dimension plays a predominant role. The information contained in this chapter can prove to be very useful. Chapter 11. Discussions with students of PY correspondence course. Kriyabans who live in the love and loyalty to PY can find here material to understand the reason why PY decided to make some modifications toward Lahiri Mahashaya's vision. PY's Kriya path has an unprecedented simplifying power. If the mind of the reader is open, a very important understanding will happen. Chapter 12. A good way of experiencing the beauty of Kriya Yoga. This chapter contains what I presently recommend for approaching Kriya Yoga. I utilize my personal experience to envisage a good plan of practice. The chapter starts with a very simple and effective way of introducing the practice of Kriya Pranayam. The teacher who gave this long-awaited inspiration is Sri Mukherjee. But we don't stop to that first step. We are delighted to visualize a complete Kriya path which can be practiced with similar simplicity and effectiveness. The difference between the two main conceptions of Kriya. A. Lahiri Mahashaya's Kriya vision. First level. The first level of this Kriya is grounded on the technique of Kriya Pranayam. Normally, each session opens with a short preparation and ends with a phase that many call meditation, but it would be more correct to call pratyahara, that means withdrawal of the senses. After this transition phase, a Kriyaban is open to a dimension that is beyond the mind. In the first level, we achieve the melting together of the energies prana and apna. A particular state happens in our consciousness. Lahiri Mahashaya calls it equilibrium. It is situated half-road between the awareness of the external reality and the awareness of the internal state of peace. Before starting the practice of Kriya Pranayam, the nadis Ida and Pingala are partially blocked and the prana has difficulty to flow. Through this condition of equilibrium, the state of prana in the body changes. It becomes possible guiding our prana in the subtle channel of Sushumna. A good signal that the breath has become subtle is given by a particular realization. During the exhalation, we feel that our breath doesn't go out of the body through the nostrils but travels within, filling with fresh energy the cells of the body. In the first level, the obtainment of Kechari Mudra is undoubtedly of great value since it creates perfection in Kriya Pranayam and calms enormously the functions of the mind. Other events can happen during the months or the years when one is busy with the first level. Other procedures come in handy, even if they are not, because of an experience, used in every aspect of their power. Second level. In this level, we consider a very subtle work upon the chakras and a strong work upon the heart chakra. The chakras are not an obstacle. We do not want to entertain here any negative concept of them. But we know that our duty is not only to awake them but go beyond them. This is the real meaning of the second level. We shall utilize the power of Thokar, which is directed toward the heart chakra. This will happen also in the third level of Kriya, in greater dimensions. In the second level, the mental pressure of prana upon each chakra becomes stronger. A positive transformation is noticed in the practice of Kriya Pranayam, first Kriya, which becomes more solid. Third level. The third level of Kriya is devoted to the practice of Thokar using a long kumbhaka, holding of the breath. Here a Kriyaban exerts a very great action on the chakra of the heart. Knowing that the heart is the place in the body where the tradition says that the immortal self resides, some schools of Kriya consider this as the last level of Kriya. They don't know other levels of Kriya. There is no doubt that through a great, long work with this third level of Kriya, no other technique is necessary. There is a strong connection between the heart chakra and Kutastha. The bright point, Bindu, that appears in the heart chakra during the practice of the third level of the Kriya is the same reality that appears as a white star in the center of Kutastha. Entering the star of Kutastha, crossing the so-called tunnel of eternity, or entering a deep state of ecstasy that is expressed as the contemplation of the uncreated light in the heart, typical expressions of the hesychasts, embody the same event. Fourth level. Do you want to improve at the maximum the practice of the Kriya Pranayam, while the attainments regarding the chakra of the heart remain unaltered? Then you must practice the fourth level of Kriya where Thokar is applied on all the chakras. It has been said that if you create a great impact on the Muladhara chakra, Kundalini comes up and crosses the center of the heart, bringing its potentialities to the maximum expansion. In that state our breath is totally internalized. Therefore Kriya Pranayam is practiced in a state very similar to the breathless state. This must be kept present when we face the mysterious reality of the macro movement Tribhanga Murari, fifth level. Fifth level. At this level, those who accept the teaching of Satya Charan Lahiri, one of the grandsons of Lahiri Mahashaya, focus their attention on a descending energetic flow moving towards Muladhara, but remaining outside the spine. What happens by perceiving such current is difficult to express because we have no words to describe a reality which is beyond mind. This level is a prosecution of the previous level but seems to belong to another word. Sixth level. The door of the spine is opened. Now we can meet the subtle transcendent Omkar reality in the aspect of micro-movement sensation. I do not venture to indulge in rhetoric quotations of ancient holy writings. I can only say that through this procedure we become able to leave the dimension of time and space and reach the highest asamprajnata samadhi, which leads to Kaivalya state.